will take that as my education. I think I have a problem with this writing. You write it in China, but this one is Professor Kemi, thank you, sir. Thank you. Next on the agenda will be a chance speech. I'll probably hand over the microphone to Prof. So please,
Vice Chancellor, ably represented, the CMD, President John Kelly, Provost of Great College, President Oluwole, distinguished lecturer, Faculty of Clinical Science, the head department of surgery, Professor the organization established by Jennifer and the members of the Arigbabu family, distinguished guests, staff of the Apex Medical Center. Let me start by correcting two things that were said at the beginning of this program. The first is that it was not getting us to exams that is making us start late. It's because we all came late. The second is that you forgot to pronounce the name of my friend Prof and the name of his spouse. They are Professor and Mrs. Oluwole Togolo Kipeste. We're all gathered here today to commemorate the life of Professor Anthony Oluwole, who died on 27 February this year. The man, indeed, to many of us, including myself, he was among the greatest of all men. Augustine, my colleague, will be speaking extensively about his life, his qualities, and his achievements. But I also feel the need just to see the lecture with some thoughts about this man who was so dear to so many of us, and in particular as a human being. Anthony Oluwole Arigbabu came from one of the most distinguished families in the Ijebu. And I would add that he had all the characteristics of an Ijebu man. I would mention that. He was educated at the Ijebu Grammar School and then left for Germany, where he trained as a doctor at the University of Wisconsin, one of the foremost medical. Subsequently specialized, and he had no further thought than to continue practicing surgery in Germany. He had a very distinguished practice. He met and married his wife Margit, right? And their 4 children, Patrick, Jennifer, Alexandra, and John, were all born there. So he was very comfortably ensconced in Germany, with no thought of leaving that country. And that was the Java time. Really. He was very happy there. And then, fortunately or unfortunately for us, at least, the delegation led by the late Professor T.I. came to Germany and persuaded him to come and serve his country in the newly established Faculty of Sciences of the University of Ife, now known as Great Ife. He came with an ambulance full of medical equipment, all of which he employed in the surgery department. Of course, he and his family were faced with the usual trials of people who come from a place like Germany to live in what has all the characteristics of evolution. But they adapted to this new environment, and they became very happy here. The surgeon had looking for. great distinction. He pioneered gastrointestinal endoscopy and developed an endoscopy center as a clinician. From all over the world. It was not just the skill that made the reputation, it was the humanity that marked him. Treated all patients with kindness and empathy. Patients had confidence in him, and he never turned any patient because they did without money. That situation. He was a truly great teacher. A substantial number of surgeons here in Great Britain who are here now were trained by him. And in this respect, the mentorship provided to them by this great man made an impact, an important impact to them. He provided great leadership in both the university and the teaching hospital. He served as head of the department of surgery, repeated, served on the university committee. In the hospital, he was the chairman of the medical advisory committee and director of clinical services. And I would say that the quality of the current department of surgery owes a great deal to his efforts. My friend, as Mike described us, I guess the most important one was the tragic death of his wife, Margit, on 25 June 2019. We pray that the Almighty will continue to grant His progress to her soul. And this way, I ask us to rise for a minute, just for honor. May the good Lord grant his soul eternal rest. Amen. I first met was Arigbabu 1978, and gradually became very close. And indeed, he was my closest friend. Dorothy, my spouse, also grew to love him. And we had great times together. I and several other friends called him Oga. And I want to know that nickname, Oga, had nothing to do with leadership or headship or anything else. I won't tell you this story. It's a story. That nickname became synonymous with him. We both truly enjoyed fishing. But our friendship went beyond enjoyable times. We also supported each other in times of difficulty. I used to be a very important person a few years back. And that particular position is full of danger. And on the frequent occasions that actions of students and staff unions placed me in danger, we would be among the first to arrive. He never hesitated in spite of the risks. And what really continues to abide in my soul forever, my heart forever, is that there was a time I was ill and he wasn't able to contact me. I didn't respond to anything. He broke down the door of my home and entered me. Whatever, this is the kind of great things during his life. But his personal qualities stand out even more. His kindness, his care for others, his humanity, and also his commitment to hard work, to honesty, and to honor. Oga has left, but his hospital that he established so lovingly, Apex Medical Center, lives on and is currently well directed by Professor. We want to thank you, Professor Anderson, for the work you are doing in that hospital now. May God continue to grant you strength to continue that. Our friend has gone. We pray that our God will continue to grant his soul eternal rest. Our lecturer today is Professor Arigbabu. He is an alumnus of British, and he trained as a surgeon in this hospital. What better qualification can anybody have? He was also mentored by Professor Oluwole. Like his trainer and his mentor, he has also risen to great heights in his profession. No one could be better qualified to present this lecture in his honor.
The head of the Department of Surgery, Professor Oluwole, as he's getting ready to give his welcome address, let me seize the opportunity to introduce the following guest. Professor Amusa is the CMD, Apex Medical Center. Can you announce together? Thank you for holding up for Baba. Like in our midst, we also have our own Professor Oluwole. Welcome, sir. We also have Reverend Father Michael Akisode, the chaplain and Lady of Perpetual Lands, Bachelor University. Welcome, sir. Thank you, sir, for coming. And as I looked up again, I saw my own boss, Professor A. Olafa Conley. Thanks for being here. Okay, we want to begin to I'm just going to notify that we also have Professor Arigbabu in our midst, the current Commissioner for Education in the state. Thank you very much, sir. That's the past nephew. Thank you, sir. Welcome, sir. We'll move on quickly to the welcome address by the head of the Department of Surgery, Professor Oluwole. Welcome.
The Vice Chancellor, Professor Babira, ably represented by the Provost, College of Health Sciences, Professor Oluwole, the CMD, Professor Kenny, ably represented by the CMAC, Professor Mrs. Sezi, the Dean, Faculty of Clinical Sciences, Professor Ayo Salako, who is also a surgeon and a mentee of Baba. The chairman of the occasion, Professor Harry Makondiola, who I can describe to be probably the closest friend of Baba. All of us are dear leaders of life. The distinguished lecturer of today, Professor Arigbabu, who is also an mentee of Professor Arigbabu. Eminent professors in the house, you are all recognized. I look back when I was sitting there and I saw quite a number of senior colleagues and colleagues. I want to appreciate you for taking time of your busy schedule to be here. But very importantly, I want to thank the family, the entire family of Professor Arigbabu, who insisted and encouraged us that this is a culture that we must get. Thank you, Jennifer, on behalf of everybody. Baba is a mentor who gave birth to many mentees. Before I give my opening remark, I want to welcome Dr. Lassa to read on behalf of all the senior colleagues in the Department of Surgery. Professor Lawal sent a tribute, and I want that to be read. Then I will give my opening remark, and then we'll proceed.
This morning, I will be reading this on behalf of all the surgical descendants of Professor Arigbabu. As one of the great guardians, I will do this. This was prepared by one of children. Legacy of the Lord, Papa, is too much John commemorating his born day. Pioneers are often beginning peace. Papa was one of the pioneer consultants, lecturers in our department. The youth now behold bellies all the hard work and the self-denying sacrifices made those yesterdays to lay the solid foundation of the now enviable establishment. The subtle dexterity could be passed for, getting could be passed for lecturing and skills are journey. It is imperative to other processes that once points in Dorian externalism indeed. As a crop of surgical residents of Professor Oluwole, who back then worked closely with our body. I was privileged to witness and attend his international work and personal virtues and attributes. His dedication and commitment to excellence remain parallel and genuine. Papa was a great and remarkable personality. He was very good. He was also good talk. He was he really developed personal endoscopic equipment and instruments, medications, medical consumables, all proven to augment what were available to assure best practices and implementation. He was what we could call Igbo, both humanitarianism and impact. He was a great mentor and would go all the way to provide the support necessary. He was immense wisdom, and his advice and guidance were always available. His administrative action was exceptional and close-in research. He was exemplary and a shining light
the department of we are next people that are with English. This is Professor Oluwole, and he has helped me put the description of that in the succinct English, which I will not bother to repeat. But I will try my best to relate two occasions to what some of the things Professor Oluwole what was very tough. I joined the Department of Surgery as President in 2002, and my first posting was in pediatric surgery. And I finished posting in pediatric surgery and moved to general surgery from that was in 2002. My first day in surgery was on Tuesday, and for those that know the operations of general surgery can be, you have a clinic on Tuesday and you have an OP on the same day. When I was trying to see what I could do to make things happen in the unit. I wish no longer Nigeria, probably is online. Just say to me, I want to see you. I want to see you. And I know most of this university, in general surgery, but that was almost jumping out my chest because what scene was that committed for her to accept for me? I am like a get out of the cage and I am upstairs to the endoscopy box. You met and who have intimidating anytime, anything. Especially for a young teen that is trying to find his feet is very sorry. Sir, good morning, sir. How are you, sir? Sir, he said for me, I'm checking up around. And he said, check. I was surprised to call my first name, not even my last name. Check. I now that you are now in my unit. I was still thinking within my mind. Now I was afraid probably I committed a crime. Now I was being described with my first name. Apparently the background to this or me being someone is that there is a clinical trial that was ongoing. Then Baba is a pioneer and he was the foremost researcher that he participated or carried out most of the first earlier trial in Arigbabu pylori in Nigeria. Almost all the drugs that were being introduced in the management of each pylori were tried, clinical trials conducted in Ife. One of the clinical trials was about to be conducted, and that was when proton pump inhibitor was being introduced to the market. And as a prelude for registration of the drug has to be tried in Nigeria. And pharma complaint is that difficult for drugs to be that was invited to manage that clinical trial is Baba. You can imagine running clinical trial as a registrar, first year registrar, not even a senior registrar in surgery. What he saw in me was difficult to understand. How I'm going to do this, I don't know, but I saw it as an opportunity not to learn in books, but to learn in reality. The lesson I learned from that is that Baba is an identifier. By God's grace, we've been involved in a number of research and we've been successful in a number of grants. I would trace genesis a hospital got broken. Corroborating what Baba said. The endoscope got broken, and as an influential personality, he walked to the CMD and said we must get a new endoscope to the hospital. Of course, because funding was a problem, it was difficult to get funding to buy an endoscope, and I thought that was the end to the research. Surprisingly, Baba brought his own personal scope from APES, and he brought it to the hospital. And for 3 good years, the only functioning endoscope in OAU was that scope. And that was his personal scope. We used the scope until we racked that scope. Until that scope out of others. In fact, when the scope got, it was when the scope got out of order that the hospital realized that the old man had been pestering them to get the scope to the hospital. Now it was not difficult for younger colleagues like us to get grants, to have a number of scopes, and to bring it to the hospital to be used. Baba lived a life as a mentor. He identified talents. He had unique skill to identify talent and to nurture talent, that talent to fruition. Not only that, he's a philanthropist to be par excellence. He did everything to ensure that the system is running. When some people ask me, you are doing so much today, I will tell them, when I joined the endoscopy room, we will do 15 upper gear endoscopy in one day. The only thing Baba will do is that he will, for some of us that know, he will go out to relax, to do something that we all know. And he will be back energized, and we were doing that for 50 endoscopy. In those days, it's a lot. Even now, it's a lot. So if the nurses are saying they are tired, this is not how we started. We started doing a lot, and by God's grace, we maintained that culture in the endoscopy room. So I want to on behalf in the endoscopy room. So on behalf of everyone in the Department of Surgery, I want to welcome all of us to this first post-human lecture, which we hope by God's grace to continue to maintain. And I want you to have, I believe we are going to have an exciting day. Welcome, please.
Thank you very much, Professor Michel Bahashi, the head of the Department of Surgery, OAU and OETs. That was a nice one. That explains to me a lot of questions that were running through my mind. You will remember when you called me sometime last year or so, and you had to send a vehicle to pick me when I knew I was not feeling well. I can now understand the kind of relationship you had with him. You go together for next, we'll be taking the goodwill message to be given by the Dean, Faculty of Clinical Sciences of Arigbabu University, Ile-Ife, Nigeria. Welcome with me to the podium, Professor Ayo Sawa.
The Vice Chancellor of Arigbabu University, ably represented by the Provost of the College of Health Sciences, Professor Oluwole, the Provost himself, wearing 2 hats, the former Vice Chancellor of this university, and our chairman on this occasion, and an undisputed best friend of Baba, Professor Mokejola, the deans that are here present, Professor Oluwole, the Faculty of Basic Medicine, biomedical sciences. My own HOD, Professor Sekalatishe, the family of Baba were all of one family, both biological children and professional here, but the children are represented by Mrs. Jennifer. All our professors here are present, who I cannot mention all their names, very senior colleagues. Professor Ade is here, Professor Badmos, and so on. The Chief Medical Director of Apex Hospital, Professor Amusa, our colleagues from the hospital and from the college, we are all welcome. Today we gather to celebrate the life of Baba, Professor Oluwole and Arigbabu, who will have turned 89 today. Professor Arigbabu was more than just a remarkable individual. He was a shining example of a doctor, a teacher by excellence, a surgeon, an administrator. He was a father, he was a mentor, and he was a compassionate doctor. This is just to mention a few of his key accomplishments. Professor Arigbabu's unwavering dedication to the medical field inspired countless lives and left an indelible mark on us. And as we reflect on Baba's remarkable journey, we cannot but remember his very generous spirit and compassionate heart, his infectious smile and warm laughter, his passion and perseverance, and some of his favorable quotes. Say àlàáfíà ni o, ẹ kú láéláé. These are things you cannot forget. He lives in our memory. We honor Baba's memory by continuing his work and upholding his values, and share stories of his love, his kindness, and his generosity. So let us take a moment to remember Baba Arigbabu, cherish the time we have had with him, and to strive to make him proud even in death. I say, happy birthday to Baba Arigbabu. Your legacy lives on our minds. And may we continue to draw inspiration from his remarkable life, and may his memory be a blessing to all of us all. To our guest speaker, himself Baba Arigbabu's boy, Professor E.A. Agbabu. I'm too young to say Ogogobioko. I need to take permission from him to say that. I have no doubt you will do justice to the topic, the role of mentoring in surgical training and practice, and audacity of Professor Wole Arigbabu. So let us sit back to enjoy the lecture. I'm sorry I skip an important thing. My sister and friend, the CMAC of the OEJC, the Chief Medical Director, is also here. I want to welcome Professor Eniola Ezi. So let us sit back and enjoy this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. As one in honor of a dedicated, passionate, and a very loyal friend. Next on my list is to invite to the podium the Chief Medical Director of Obasanjo University Teaching Hospital Complex, the complex in Nigeria, located in Ile-Ife, ably represented by the Medical Advisory Committee, Professor Easy, to give a goodwill message. You are welcome.
Thank you very much. I'm standing here representing the Chief Medical Director, who is unavoidably absent on official duty. I want to start on the existing protocol, and I will be reading the goodwill message of the CMD. Good morning, esteemed senior colleagues, aspiring surgeons, diverse family, and friends. Today, I want to highlight the invaluable role of mentorship in surgical training and practice. Mentorship is more than personal technical skills. It's about shaping character, instilling confidence, and nurturing the next generation of surgical leaders. A good mentor not only teaches the heart and science of surgery, but also demonstrates the empathy, resilience, and integrity required to serve patients with excellence. This challenges us to think critically. They guide us through challenges and inspire us to reach our fullest potential. These are all the things that was represented in this hospital. He was a man who stood tall on behalf of his trainees. To the mentees, embrace every opportunity to learn and grow. Ask questions, seek feedbacks, and honor the wisdom shared with you. And to the mentors coming up behind, after the children mentors, grandchildren mentors, and the great grandchildren mentors. That legacy transcends the operating room. Together, let us uphold the tradition of mentorship, ensuring that surgical practice continues to evolve with competence, compassion, and innovation. Thank you very much. I'm happy posthumous birthday to Baba. And before I leave this space, I'm using this opportunity to talk about Baba by myself in my own capability as Eniola. When Prof. was talking to Baba, it was Professor Oluwole is Baba. He was the head of the department when I started my residency posting. And everybody kept saying that Baba has a very hard face. To me, I have a totally different opinion. To me, Baba was like a father, and he related to me as father to daughter. He guided my path. Anytime I have any problem, I ask him for his opinion. And he would just tell me, oh, when I had to go for posting in Lut, it became a very tough. He wrote a letter for me and said, take it to Professor Arigbabu.
professors, senior professors, both signed and retired, and I think members of the university hospital, as well as the university itself, and students, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. I consider it a great honor and privilege to be part of today's event, representing the Vice Chancellor and also the capacity as the Provost of the College of Health Sciences. My goodwill message in three parts. First, I'm speaking of Arigbabu University, Arigbabu College, and I'll be also speaking very briefly on the significance of this event. Then I conclude. Baba and OPE, I will just narrate Baba's relationship with the university, with what happened the day Baba passed on. I think it was Baba that called me. I was on the road that day and told me Baba just passed on. And he gave me the task of finding a way to move the body from his home where he passed on to the mortuary. What will I do? Immediately, I called the DVC. We need the ambulance. And he said, where is it? And immediately, the twinkle of an eye, we deployed all resources. Said, no rush, just race there immediately. And the DVC told me a story. He said, I was trying to introduce who Babu was to him. He said, you know him very well. I'm not with Apex, and he told me so many instances in which Arigbabu had come to the rescue of OEU staff and students when they had nowhere to get. So even when they developed issues, medical issues, even off-camps, they would call on Arigbabu and we just sort it out for them until master. So the university goes of Arigbabu so much high regard and esteem. In fact, we regard Arigbabu as the repository of facts and figures. I remember when Arigbabu was dean, I think they organized an event where Arigbabu came and told us from inception accurately dates, even day of the week, who was in what position, what happened, what they said. I wish we had recorded all this that I don't think we have that opportunity. He told us a lot that event. And when we held our 50th anniversary in this very auditorium, I think it was 2 years ago, 2022, Baba went virtually from Apex, and they reeled out so much information that although luckily we have that one on record. And I remember when Professor Oluwole was putting together a book on the history of the college. Arigbabu was one of those interviewed, and he gave us a lot of information recorded in that book. So Baba is even though he's passed on, his legacies continue to live on. And that's why today's event is very significant. It's a good thing to honor the memory elder statesman. Nonetheless, someone of Arigbabu's stature. And I believe that is why we're able to attract the men and women of timber and caliber this morning. I believe that's why Mommy Togodu, Professor and all the people they are here today to celebrate Baba's legacy. And I can only implore the Department of Social to sustain it. Let it not just be a once and for all event. Let it continue to be an annual event. I think the thing that you have chosen, speaking on mentorship, cannot be more relevant in our days when there are many who themselves have become mentors, but were never properly mentored. And there are mentees who are not submitted to mentoring. And I believe choosing, I wanted to say Professor, now Baba, I thought that Oluwole was part of his initials. I was trying to so I wanted to find where he used to be Professor Baba Arigbabu. Sorry, Baba Arigbabu is he himself is a mentor by excellence. Till today, he continues to. I was interacting with students, and he told me they have a session with Baba Arigbabu. I'm sorry, Baba, I said, Babu, is this still in? I said, it's still teaching there. Thank you so much, sir, for continuing to teach our students. We really appreciate what you continue to do. And this is completely pro bono. He does it on weekends, all times. Rosario, the faculty continues to teach. We are very, very good. And on that note, again, I congratulate the department, faculty, and the hospital for giving it a fit to organize an event of this matter. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, sir, for bringing those issues up. Remember you good. And as far Baba, in fact, when you talk about teaching those that have been declared unteachable, in fact, there is Baba what? Said. Thank you very much, sir. We'll quickly move on to save our time. We'll go straight on to the citation of Professor Oluwole Arigbabu. This will be taken by our own Dr. Lassendi of the Department of Surgery. Please have your hands together for the
I ask that you do not get tired of saying it. When you are the last born amongst all the grandchildren, you get to great grandchildren, you get to run all the errands. I stand here this morning to present the citation of Baba Arigbabu with a profound sense of responsibility as we celebrate a man we all know to be a colossus, the pioneer head of the Department of Surgery, the doyen of endoscopy in Nigeria, an administrator, a mentor, a teacher, a father, a man with a profound sense of humor. Professor Oluwole Arigbabu was born on the 29th of November 1938 in Ijebu. He attended Augustine Catholic School in Ijebu between 1944 and 1950. He had his secondary education at Ijebu Muslim College between 1951 and 1956. He later proceeded to Germany after securing admission into the University of Göttingen in 1959. And he graduated to the Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor degree in 1964. As an undergraduate, he was the University Scholar in 1960 and won the GAAD Scholarship of years, the GAAD Research Scholarship in Biochemistry between 1962 and 1965, and he won the JAICA Japanese Fellowship Award in 1978, where he emerged the overall best student at the 10th International Seminar on Early Gastric Cancer in Japan in 1978. The then young Oluwole Arigbabu later obtained a diploma at the Hamburg University Institute of Tropical Medicine in 1966. Between 1967 and 1972, he had his postgraduate surgical training at the Hanover Teaching Hospital, after which he became a board-certified surgeon by 2 colleges in 1972. At the completion of his training, because he distinguished himself, then Dr. Arigbabu was offered an appointment as lecturer consultant, surgeon in gastroenterology and trauma. He later rose to become deputy consultant, administrative head of surgery, and on recognition he was elected member of the Board of Governors of Hanover Medical School between 1972 and 1975. Challenged by the need to impact positively on medical education at home, the then Dr. Arigbabu led his lucrative medical practice in Germany as a senior lecturer to return to Nigeria in October 1975. He was appointed a senior lecturer in the Health Sciences Division of the Hospital and Dental Care, Faculty of Health Sciences of the then University of Ife. He was also stuck in the faculty in charge of the MCHP programs between 1976 and 1977. He was twice head Department of Surgery. As the founding head, he nursed the Department of Surgery from its infancy when it was created in 1976 to an enviable state of excellence. Besides the heavy clinical load which he carried, Professor Arigbabu tackled multifaceted problems by running general surgery, orthopedics, traumatology, radiology, and anesthesia departments, all as one single department. That was before these departments evolved into a separate department in 1983, as we now have them today. Before each of them evolved into separate departments, Dr. Arigbabu then continued as the first head of anesthesia until 1987. With vision, he was quick to realize the events of those days when surgeons were jack of all trades as being unsustainable, given modern reality. He was the one that introduced or encouraged specializations as we have them today. He made the case for an increase in the establishment positions for departments in order to boost our personnel strength. In recognition of his hard work, productivity, and numerous services to our department, faculty, college, university community, and the country at large, he was promoted to the grade of Professor of Surgery from 1st October 1990, after which he retired from the university in October 2004. Before the creation of 12 departments in the faculty, then Dr. Oluwole Arigbabu acted for many years as the head of the Division of Hospital and Dental Care. This made him Director of Hospital Administration at the Oluwole Teaching Hospital. Despite the numerous challenges, then Dr. Arigbabu was still able to carry out many researches, including numerous clinical trials and other drug trials with impressive publications. His interest in gastroenterology and traumatology, and most of his research work revolved around endoscopic diagnosis, evaluation, and management of gastrointestinal pathologies in this hospital. And the scope of his work, the impact of his work, was not only felt within this institution, but was felt across the nation and within Africa. He is an authority whose numerous works in the field of endoscopy is frequently cited in reputable textbooks. One notable one is the service textbook of surgery. Professor Arigbabu trained several generations of medical consultants and teachers, many of whom are eminent professors of medicine and surgery, various other specialties, both locally and in diaspora. No doubt, his selfless service made the surgery department develop into an enviable department that it is today. As young apprentices, he made many of his trainees recognize that Such dogma does not always have a place in surgical practice. Anthony Oluwole Arigbabu, our father, had his own surgical philosophy. He taught that every case should be thoroughly evaluated and resolved on his own merit. He was a fellow of various institutions, both locally and internationally. We are all here gathered today in recognition of the great achievements of this patriotic Nigerian to the development of many departments in our college and in the department of surgery. His numerous selfless services to the university and our community, to the entire surgical community, and to humanity in general will never be forgotten. Before I close, I would like to highlight an event that transpired shortly before he passed on. While Prof. Arigbabu was preparing to pass on to glory, I remember very clearly there was a patient who was on admission in his hospital who was being managed for a condition that was not going to require surgery at that time. But as a commander-in-chief that he was, I remember he gave a call. He said, "Lego, you're not going to operate patient." Of course, when Arigbabu speaks, the only thing you can say is yes, sir. You swallow all your ideas. Thank God I did respond. I operated that patient who we thought had a benign condition. This was days before he passed on. And that shows his humanity. That patient had a tumor in the colon, which would have left unattended to. It will interest you to know that that was the last patient I reviewed in clinic this morning before I came here. Every 29th of November, we always gather around Prof. Arigbabu celebrating his life and times. What we are here doing today is nonetheless different because Prof. Arigbabu is not here in body, he is here with us in spirit, and his philosophy continues to be known. Thank you.
At least I tried. Baba spoke to me too on several occasions, but I won't tell you what he said. Because I was at Apex on some occasions, and in fact, each time they called me, I said yes, and before you even what I said, so you can imagine seeing the talk. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You now calm down. That was nice. It's just to so continue to rest. Right in our midst is Professor Tony Akintomi. I welcome, sir. Professor Kamara of the Department of Radiology is also here. Our own head of the Department of Medicine, Professor Adebayo, is also here. The person who inherited Baba's pathway, that's what I call him. Celebrate Professor Adisa. Adisa. Thank you, sir. We move on now to the next item on the agenda. The topic is mentorship in surgery training, in surgical training and practice. Or GZ or Oluwole Arigbabu. One of his own will tell us the story and how these have come to be. But before he comes up, let me invite to this microphone Dr. Oluwole to please come around and give the citation of our guest lecturer. And I will request Yes, we can at least stand on his feet as Dr. Aderomu will read the citation. Thank you, sir.
Permit me to stand on existing protocol to read this two paragraph citation that I summarized over a 30-page civil argument book. Professor Oluwole Augustine Arigbabu is a distinguished academic, seasoned general surgeon, and esteemed educator with over 4 decades of medical experience, research, and teaching. Professor Arigbabu holds a BSc in Health Sciences from the then University of Ife and an MPCHD alongside advanced surgical training culminating in fellowship from the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria, the West African College of Surgeons, and the International College of Surgeons. Professor Arigbabu was amongst the early generation of surgeons trained by the legendary Professor Oluwole Arigbabu. As a prolific researcher with over 100 published journals, Professor Arigbabu has significantly advanced the field of hernia surgery, particularly in West Africa. His contributions, coupled with his role as president of the Hernia Society of Nigeria, underscore his dedication to improving surgical care and outcomes in resource-limited settings. He has actively contributed to research and professional groups such as the West African Helicobacter Pylori Study and the Society of Gastroenterology and Hepatology of Nigeria. So he's also a member of numerous national medical associations. An advocate for surgical education, Professor Arigbabu is a great teacher. He has mentored generations of medical doctors and surgeons across multiple institutions in Nigeria and abroad. His dedication to teaching matches his commitment to innovative surgical training and practice. Beyond his professional achievements, Professor Arigbabu is a passionate advocate for community engagement with interest in farming, cultural, dancing, and football. As a goalkeeper, he scored against our own Oluwole. He remains a revered figure in surgical and academic communities, widely respected for his contributions to medicine and unwavering commitment to excellence in healthcare delivery. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let's give a warm welcome to the inaugural lecturer of Professor Oluwole.
the royal fathers, and my friend, Father Bishop, they are doing all the places. They are working. I also know you, not only as far as the campus, my junior brother. There are some of my sisters that are here. Maybe apart from one or two of them, every other son of here and son and the dog who work here and school here is a great either child or grandchild. Great grandchild, I'm a grandchild. But I will not forget, as well I don't know here, I don't know. Because we have a person that, although I had home here today, when I was young, we used to go together to Asia. Come together. Sometimes you want to take me to first day with you. I'll say after I buy this plane. I will not forget how you taught me how to do a special and there. Direct grant there. You tell me. I love that for you. So I want to thank you. My colleagues, they are plenty. We were together as president with Oluwole, with Irabo. We are one front group. And they were going to be welcome. So stay my visit to our other colleagues. Then the other colleagues, I don't know what to call it, but they are all grandchildren and great-grandchildren now. And the children of Arigbabu, I can see Jennifer here. Then I see Kuku. And Kuku, I'm sorry, sir, I call it Kuku. But I know there's a Kuku dynasty. I never put Mama. It's from the Kuku family. Am I correct? Yes. Yes. So please, instead of this, all of them. But I didn't know that another professor. You're welcome, sir. Then I will not forget the flight swimming and God's house every time. Who were Prof. was a corner fishing. When he established that lagoon there, when they were trying to that. But before the 70s, we didn't have enough water in the campus. If you were trying to reharvest water, you know what reharvest water from swamp before commercial came. And they established that dam here, and they became leading and supply water campus. And here Arigbabu used to go there to fish. They will get their fish, they will see that people are there. So they will very money. So this is Professor Fumi Ogonu. I hope I'm quite correct. Yes, I want to know her more. And there are other brothers I see here. I don't know them. That's not what I'm saying. So I know this is like me. And was always they are brothers. There are another person from Germany. I don't know where it is. So many nice things are all the time that. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, when I was asked if you to buy some go, I instead said no. That how many is that one? I'm not the most senior person. His first son here was I said, but he didn't know him on the graduate level, so I said, okay, maybe he wasn't on the graduate student. And then was Nick Adoye, who are very close to me. As to the whole experience, I used to admire them. They were young that time, looking very fine. And when I told them that they were being classmates, or they walked to back, I was not afraid to go there. And we were very friends now. I said, Nick, Tony is very close to him. Tony looked after him all the time of being hospital. Even in the group, they are always going to take company. Why do you do that? I said, he's a catalogue, he's going to take him to give a letter. And I moved to JJ in Lagos and go. He said, no, I don't understand. Now I said, look, I will take it. That's what I said. Yeah. My people say in our place, when you get small child firewood, keep it. The child doesn't take care of it. As the firewood is born, it might go inside. But I have to take that firewood. And I pray that God will not happen. Will not allow you to have fire in your hand or your finger. Yeah, who was Prof? told Oluwole. This was the son of Neye Arin and Ulora Arigbabu of Jabode, born on the 9th of November 1935. The father had 10 wives, so he was original man in everything. He was a goldsmith and a silversmith, and was actually a wedding merchant. The mother was a very rich businesswoman. Arigbabu's father was very generous. The mother was very generous. He was mama of other wives and children. So you see where the gene of generosity and mentoring came in. The father told mentor so many. Arigbabu attended primary school in 1944 to 1949 at the now Sebastian High School in Zebote. He had his secondary school in Muslim College in Zebote. He thereafter briefly worked as a civil servant in the old Muslim region before going for his brother's studies in Germany, where he studied medicine and got his MBBS. As an undergraduate, he was a university scholar in 1960. I had another scholarship. You can see that the German Academic Exchange Service, the one from Catholic we had. He also won the Japanese Fellowship Award in 1978. In fact, when he finished that course, he was given a free microscope. It was the best in early gastric cancer, which he continued to pioneer in Nigeria. He had earlier married his wife, Maggie, in 1963, and they have 4 children, Jennifer, Cecilia, and Job. Actually, those are still out among his contemporaries and peers. Now, he came back from Germany, speaking mostly, and he was interviewed by a British surgeon called Prof. When they were starting with him, we had 7 professors from UK who thought it was a big look. So he brought them there to establish it. And one of them was to interview Arigbabu. He never wasn't speaking English as well as he wanted. He didn't want to join him because of that. But he was dogged. He wanted to prove to him that he can work here. But that's the truth in the heart, created some background. That sometimes on the corridor, you tell the Russians, you must leave Nigeria. This is not their left. But he now proved to him that he could be a lecturer and surgeon in Nigeria. That's what he told him. Second one, when Ife was growing, we lost SDA to SDA with the student building. We lost general hospital election. To establish another center, high center election, people were afraid of kicking against it. But Arigbabu forced the ophthalmology unit to move to election, opened it under Paris. That was a target, and he was a fail. As a disciplinarian, I will give you some of the stories. To show you, for example, we had one journalist who was a chief resident in God of He kept reports on Arigbabu. Compared to report Dr. Ostaz for being affected from it. Ostaz had work for 2 weeks every day this week. So one day he was watching the report, he was not sleeping in his house. He came to the hospital. I was there. Then everyone was annoyed. But when they told what he is, they were 7 residents in Benin. And they allowed everyone to drink for 2 weeks. So the man stepped off. So he got very angry when they realized that they had pushed them out to one side and kept reporting. I immediately went to Arigbabu that see what this boy did. He didn't finish his project. He started tapping his dismissal for the reasons of the court. That will tell you how this place. He started tapping his dismissal. I had to prostrate with others to beg me, please, allow me to use residence. Another one was a student who were doing MBCs. Their group of lecturers there, Professor Arigbabu, Babagoye, and they didn't make a student to tell lies, and the worst was a surgeon. And a surgeon who tells lies is a murderer, can kill. So, if during the exam they notice that they are going to be an unreliable doctor, you are not going to be. I give you a story in Egypt. During the Egyptian 67 war, a resident was asked to do a settlement. He entered this appendix. He closed. I know that I sent him away. He had to do man. That is the type of discipline in training. I know that it's stabilized the feather of the wing or breast. This was written by a classmate of Prof. Along the He said the chief had a very strong instinct to stand up anytime to defend anybody. And that's why people ran to him whenever they had to. They go to him. He will actually defend you physically. You see, I don't know, but it's good at all this stuff. But without him, I don't know how to do anything. I wanted to work here. It was being delayed, and they stood their ground at this man was employed here. Move on. And they never have planned to there for the Christmas. What I said and what it does. In the campus, people who go to his house anytime, and I tell them, we did not draw free. There are 3 strikes of the hospital, ALT or ASU. In an hospital, when nobody will be allowed to see a patient of operation. I don't know how he did it. With the nurses here, some of them are there. He will carry those patients from the campus. Come and read the operations in the hospital, 3 strikes. He was taking risk. He will convince them, he will convince all them, help him. That's what he was doing in the campus. And I think the pressure became too much. He had to open the Apex Medical Center, where he continued his university. That was Arigbabu. As a Homo sapiens, this is a very important area. He was a human being. So he was prone and exposed to everything that can happen to all of us. You can be angry, can get angry, can feel happy, so you have, I'm going to explain some of them. So the people are detailing out, I'm going to mention them, I won't mention them. Now, he has some passion for growth and developing the family of surgery, the college and university. And this, obviously, will cause some work-related follow-up some of the mentees and colleagues, which did happen. What he had large heart that always made him concerned. I'm going to give you some examples, I will mention them. He had a quarrel with his brother, also around the same people family with him, who moved to Sokoto. Prof. left Ife. I'm going to visit him in Sokoto as a standing examiner and lived in his house. And then they consigned there. Was about there and then I was invited to Sokoto as a examiner. That was my first standing examination in 210. It requires a brave man to travel from here to go to go and reconcile with your brother, who we are not so will receive you. That's what they reconcile. That's to give you an idea. Some people, I remember sometime one of the lecturers did not submit his question papers during the exam. I will deal with you. He still, because that one lesson was 9. Don't threaten anybody. When this happens, he may know you. He didn't get out any of the threats. He still carried out the papers. I tried the thought he didn't want to notice. I went to his house and saw that his laptop was crashed. The laptop. He still made everything went on. There was one story I'll tell you now. Dr. Dede Dibola and Dr. Ajayi, those who know him, Peter, and myself had to lock up Arigbabu and one of the professors in one lab for 30 minutes. We're not the poor. We asked him to tell them to start boxing. Because they were not prepared. So I said, when you box, we hear a noise, we open the door. So we waited outside for 30 minutes. We didn't hear anything. So we opened the door and told them we were talking. That was Arigbabu for you. Heart of forgiveness. Most of the things they were doing that were just principle. So I don't know what I'm saying. He can, when you see his eyes, you think he wants to call you. But you are again carrying with your hand again. That's what I know. Now, I know about the family man who was devoted to his wife, getting fight, and job. When they left Nigeria, when they were in Nigeria, anytime I was there for them because of his work. He had allowed them to go outside to study. But anytime I go to his house, we talking with them every time. In fact, the first time I heard about conference, I don't know what they call it in the computer. What do you call it? Conference call. Conference call. It was his house. I said, what are you doing here? He says conference call. I don't know what our computer. It was his house that first witnessed conference call with his children. And then, I don't know whether they were part of them. Any new technological thing that was created in this world, they will send it to him. Am I correct? So they wanted to talk to him, but he started video conference call. So he was a good family man. And the day the wife was in bed, he couldn't go. They were having mass, Catholic mass in Germany, and yes, simultaneously, he was concerned. The relationship environment, this is very interesting. You never missed anything happening in the campus, even when you were watching well. I don't know how I got his stories. When you get to now, he will give you, he will start the story. You analyze, he has his way of getting information. So he never advertised himself. And he was always willing to listen to, everybody wants to listen to him for advice. Even when he was advising the hospital, he will call the CMD. Do it like this, do it like this. He will always give that advice. And people get him to help him solve his problem. And because he was always learning and straightforward, he will tell you, if you are not ready to tell you what I've done, then it became easier for you to take solution for you. Mentorship. Yes. You can see the visual mentorship. Somebody that teaches, guides, direct to somebody that gets experience. The mentor influences the personal and professional growth of the team. The mentor functions as advisor, counselor, and guide. He combines all of them. That's why he was a special mentor for us. Combine all this. Formal and informal. I don't know what I call the mentoring gave me. In surgery, a mentoring is apprenticeship. You have to work beside your master. Though those that are finding here don't even know idea. When a DNA hatches its eggs, and those small chicks come out, they can't scratch. So their mama will scratch, peck, and he will give way, they will pet. He will keep training them until they get used to what to scratch and pet, and then pick the food. That's the kind of relationship we had with the mentor. If you work close to him, he will bring it in as a child. He combined all these models to be a good mentor. And that's why we're able to produce things in us. The ODC, which I was talking about, I didn't understand what I was going to do about it. Somebody that's much better than me to come and describe his ODC. But let me just define it first. ODC was used. It could also be, it could be a long one region of ways, share dynamics and changes. Arigbabu was from rural to urban, from poverty to opulence, from Ijabu to Germany to Japan to Nigeria and to Ijabu. His ODC was long and tortuous. Now, as an achiever, I will go through this better. He established a social university in Nigeria. He was the head of surgery when we had our first transplant by Nigerians in Nigeria, as by black people in black Nigeria. The same thing was like David, the renal unit head, who actually pushed was occasional. The frontier soldiers were Bagos and Sadako. I think they are here, here. Bagos and Sadako, please get up. Yes, these people are grandchildren of Arigbabu. In fact, great-grand, because I cannot really know they're the ones in front. Well, there's not a great-grandchildren. They were not only the grandmothers, myself and someone were supporting them. That's what I can do. Faculty again, for almost teacher initiatives, Australia, for exercising 2 patients at once. But this is made possible by commitment and the push from the back of Arigbabu and Akishaba. They also tell them, I can't remember the team. See that? Now this one is a bit personal, but I will explain them. There was a time we were working at Alpha Hospital in Ilesha. We used to visit him when we were not working. The standard he was in there to operate was the same standard we had in the hospital. But after each surgery, we always expect something. We expect 2 pills and something to put in our mouth. And because that was Arigbabu, you never go near him without taking something, even in his house. He will give you something. In fact, I don't know about that. In our best medical system, the same. But each time we operate on Saturday, there was one man called Santa, who is that? Is it Alanuga? What's the name? Alanuga. Well, we used to get the soup ready before finish. And you see the boss check. So I remember I'll go catch the check, you know, back following up. Then he had that confidence in us. Then I want to mention, now you can see the training he gave us on so much that now he's also inherited by one of his great grandchild, Prof. is in charge of things. I will not forget what I told you who decided to share that. He was chief consultant technologist from the day the place was open till now. I was the only doctor caring for him very clearly when he was back. I used to see him there. When he was back for his abdominal surgery, because many people now said this, our senators will go to India and America. He did not hesitate to allow himself to be operated by a lattice at this side and go. Because he knew the operation we were going to do. Chief was a referendum. He knew what we were going to do. He said, go on and do the surgery. He had that confidence in him. So because he trained them well. He kept his close friends, whom I used to see in his house every time. One is Oluwole. Then he had big nieces. I didn't see them yesterday. Those big men I used to see in his house, I look like you. They had them very big from the people family. I used to see his house every time. And they were already in his house. I used to see them there. He's anytime, I've seen somebody there. You want to enter the computer? Sorry, sir. I just recognize you now. You operate the computer with a box of cigarettes and a small beer like that. You know, Jim will ask me, this man, what I was going out, he wants to go, he told me, and then last part, he didn't force me to follow that. So, go back. How finished? Yes. You will see his mechanics. You will see they always come in complaints. They either do some work, the other come and give me something, he didn't lose his friends till he died. Go on. Now, there's another thing that says you can only give what you have. Prof. Arigbabu was well prepared and equipped to be a surgical trainer and mentor. He had a surgical residence in Germany for 6 years. During this time, he was exposed under great surgeons. After the residence, he had an extra exposure to trauma, to surgeon anesthesia. That's why when we started in those days, when we had in the surgery, we were doing the surgery from our surgery. Success, that's what was about. We also had extensive training in international endoscopy in Japan. No wonder he brought back all the experience and skill. You may remember, yes, we are not listening. When I was a student, clinical 1, Nika was clinical 3. That time they used to pay us. Clinical 1, clinical 3. So they paid me with clinical spread. I was enjoying this. But who is that? What's that name? Yeah, voilà. Young guy, I was enjoying the piano. No problem. That's what I'm about. You see, I know already the theater. I used to remember him operation on hemorrhoid bag. And then singing, we shall overcome. I don't know, so follow me, you are there. We shall overcome. We shall operate and singing. How will you forget that one? He will operate with Adiji and the other. And then he had somebody telling Mrs. Bakiro was a pond of Igbo at that time. While he was operating on one side, small way, sometimes he was operating in the bigger side, and then you and Akiola operating the smaller thing. They had a occasional order establishing slide used to say, I don't know if it was but it was almost like, look at it, each person, Mekuru, Ventere, anytime you want to spend reality, each person, Mekuru, Ventere, it was always a never in the beginning, but we were able to recover it from a lot of people from those Then we the smell will be around the table, watching operating with the human and all that. And after the surgery, they will take us to one room in this day, use the hair, women use to get the hair. Or they will teach them how to make surgical knot on handles of door. As medical students, that's what Arigbabu. Medically started at that stage. How will we not admire and follow this kind of master as apprentice? That's what I mean. Now, as president, he was clapping on patients, you present to him. He presents you, he will bring his eyes towards you, look at you, but he must tell you the truth. Harass you, but you have to read before you want to present to him. His teaching principles were this. He believed in these principles. And the surgeon provide patient, you assist me, 1, 2, 3. Then you turn and assist you, 1, 2, 3. Then you stay, you assist another person. That was the principle he used to transfer his case was. Then anytime he had a method that was in the textbook, and I asked him, sir, what's the name of this? It's my method. Because this is the textbook. And we look at it. Now, sometimes when you bring up the point and say, okay, this is what I said, there's no problem. Let us fight. He did this, oh, we are using words. He said, close, I will not close. And the result was what we used to guide the secretary. That was mentoring. But we started retiring split. There's no one idea that when it was people used to move in those days. We always thought that it has some other functions that cannot replace when you move, especially children. We started retiring split. First time we started this, he tell us, well, we are starting on the day of our luckily for us, the result turned out to be good. And unfortunately, I think it's only the right study that is still required to do now. The adults have wanted it again. I want to appeal the surgeon, please go back and see whether it's still required. That's what I know I was meant on. Move on. As a providing surgeon, he will use anything that's acceptable in surgery to make sure the patient gets the best that's locally acceptable. At the teaching stage of the school in Nigeria, he didn't have facilities for using some state university to stop bleeding. So there are diseases that causes severe bleeding when patient will vomit blood or dialysis, which can be controlled by just injecting something into the small thing. They are not available. He provides needles for that and uses successfully to control that bleeding. The whole we are starting as students, you will repeat. When you suspect type of operation, you listen. He will put letter of gauze on the patient's mouth and ask us to use stethoscope and listen here. So you blow. If you hear what we hear, that's the type of operation. It will not continue because it will not accepted to be hygienic. But that's how we were diagnosing type of operation in those days. And with that, we were able to go. Now, I accompanied in Lagos to go and give a lecture. Go back. I don't know what I told you. Did you drop anything? Go. Look, man. This one is important. When we were students in the 1970s, many typhoid patients have professionals usually died. And many surgeons were afraid of operating typhoid because they were always dying. But they encouraged us to give them that chance. And when we started operating on typhoid patients, we started losing less. And we were not dying, but they would tell on the problem. And one of the things we did with Arigbabu in the 1980s with manager was because when the typhoid first, what you see that and the president's problem is physics, and it's terrible, let's not. But they introduced two catheter technique. One they used to keep flushing antibiotics. And most of the patients survived at their time. They started this in Nigeria. And this was published, I think, in service test. Now, during our training in 1990, Prof. Arigbabu was the first, was one of the few people still remaining in Nigeria who were doing this surgery. What most boys did before was to cut a nerve and supply the stomach and the liver here. Oh, what is this? This way we die. We have to drain it conditioned park. But he started doing this surgery here. We call highly sensitive phlebotomy. This one. And with that, this area will still be inhabited and can work functionally. He was the only surgeon I saw. Two of my friends in Nigeria that was still doing before other things were discovered in medicine. Like last year was saying, when they discovered Helicobacter pylori, it's a bacteria that's known cause. Before that was discovered, everything in pediatric hospital was surgery. And at that time, we were still doing surgery. It was only one. I've touched something else. Yes, was only one was still doing this surgery. Only one yet. Okay. Now, he was able to detect any gastric cancer, which he forcibly presented back in Lagos, and other surgeons did not believe it. He discovered it and not invented. He applied for treatment, and the patient we saw them came to visit 10 years after that. That was only one thing. And perhaps, when any people that wanted to go in Nigeria did not hand over anything. I don't know what I'm telling. But he, and probably my brothers in Jos, were able to require the pastor of those people in Nigeria in the late 1980s and 90s. I remember when we were invited to give a talk in Lagos on endoscopy by Private National Association of Lagos. You can imagine, every time I have to go and give a lecture. I followed him at the gym. They gave me on the radio, he gave me some of this. That taught me a lesson. If you go out with a genius, you must take care of them. That's mental practice. He launched and opened a endoscopy practice at Uganda. The university of that in the year 2000. Professor was there, you were there. I didn't go because something was happening in the north that time. What did that take time? Sharia. I was afraid. I didn't know what happened there. He was able to take his dear money. But the Habu project we are putting, he opened and today, Kano is one of the areas. Professor Arigbabu is seen as an Iroko tree. Whose branches made best pets and then to fly. He tutored and mentored some of our uncles, Osadebayo, Oluwole, and others in Nigeria. So many residents came from various three hospitals. Some of them I remember now. Ghanaian in Luz, Ogo Dukwan in Enugu, others from Enugu, Calabar, Kano, Nigeria. They were coming to Ife. Some of them came under Noga or River or they came to Endoscopy. They were coming to Endoscopy. Even endoscopy nursing training, we are training people from that sectors. Or from the Arigbabu. That was very wonderful. Then after the work came, I said, I last change is here. Are you around? And then on the general to me, they all endoscopy. This was a cruise. Professor Arigbabu has now extended that those 3 times of Arigbabu. Not only in Nigeria, to other parts of Africa, America, and Europe. That is the benefit of mental research training. The mustard seed, so that Arigbabu has grown into a big tree. You can see, and that's the and say, these are you. And I remember. This is an Oluwole. Where is the ladder? Ladder here. And so on. This is the team. They are not all here in 2019. Move on. Arigbabu fought against payment of fees. When we started residency, we are not talking to me. If you don't have the person you need in a particular hospital, you have to go to another hospital to get that person in surgery or medicine. And it was supposed that you not do the exam. When they started discussing that, I saw and heard about say people should not pay fees when you are going to another hospital in Nigeria. You may not believe that when our resident goes to posting in Lagos, he will pay fees. The same person, he fought against it. And I didn't pay any money when I went to go to. That was from me to here. Then, after training a surgeon as a fellow, He believed that the children had not known everything, and believed that he should stay, work in his own hospital, become confident and well-fed before going outside. That's what Prof. Arigbabu. God will organize to prescribe the law president. He will counsel him, advise him, and encourage him to improve. That's what Prof. Arigbabu. So, his mentoring extended, even teaching you how to examine medical students. He will teach you everything. When he created medical student exam, that's what I'm saying. I remember one question he was always asking students. He will give you a scenario that a farmer walks on 10 toes, no shoe, in a rice farm. In the evening, a herdsman will have about 100 cows across there. You know, as the cows move, they drop some good things behind. Those things are not to contain awareness that causes tetanus. The farmer does the 10 toes. And rice farms have tons from being grass. You ask the student, what do you think the president will have the farmer? You need to wrap your bread. He's looking for you to talk about tetanus. And when you mention tetanus, you ask you, how will you see the president when he comes to cabinet? Where will you put him? So you go back and on, you start talking about pathology. That's what I remember from you. I was not prepared with him as his historian assistant. This is personal now. When we were students, we had tutorial masters. When I came back for residency, we had tutorial masters. So we were paired with the senior ones. I was paired with him. I don't know how they paired with them. We were supposed to take our students on Tuesdays. But as they saw that our team, the students, we started giving them more opportunity. Then I went to him and said, our students, most of them were very poor. On weekends, so our students will go to Oluwole to go and buy cement block or work at brick there to get money to feed themselves. This is real. Some students go there to assist their parents to, instead, when they come back on weekends, they get money. So we said, okay, since they will come back Sunday, let's go to the church Sunday. He allowed me. That's how I started Sunday, tutorial in evening. That was what I inherited from my mother. I think Mohammed has continued this. Mohammed, Dogo. Next. Tell the how much Arigbabu should give legacy opportunity. He was not sick, but he called me many times to his house. I said, sir, I'm retired. When are you leaving? I said, I want to leave. He called me again, I said, no. Why was he calling me? He wanted to ensure that what he was handed over to me, I handed over to somebody else. That was. If the spirit of the dead will be able to see the activities he has made, because Arigbabu will be dancing there, see the wonders being performed at his surgical children and grandchildren, such as Shave and Assistant, and then whether at the start of the Apostle, Olakomi, Osende, Fumi Ukora, and so on. That's legacy behind that. Conclusion. Prof. Oluwole had left an indelible mark those who knew him. The doctors, physicians, who passed through his tutelage stand as testimony to visionary advisement, leadership, and governing management to mentorship. His students will remember him as a beacon of integrity, discipline, humility, intelligence, and innovation. His legacy in endoscopy and surgery echoes through the rooms and theaters to mentor students and residents. In the different houses of OAU headquarters, they will be honored with Arigbabu's legacy, the type that transcends tribe, type of position. His name will stand in the heart of those who work alongside the team, imbibing wisdom from surgeons, industrial procedures, conversations, songs, and temporary reflections. Chief expert will always analyze issues without bias. For those that take in close contact with him, you will have encountered an intellectual memory power storehouse. He had the thing in his head. He was not seeing. Allah said that and Ladisa myself went to his hospital. We are seeing the patient with our eyes. We are not sure of the diagnosis. Prof. Arigbabu came and made the diagnosis without seeing. And it was true when he was I lost any answer. Do you remember? We were embarrassed. This man was saying, who was saying, Professor, he made it and before us. After me, he said, there's a very high sense of discipline, diligence, empathy, selflessness, and hard work. Still participated in running his clinic and compassion. He was still making contact with those position authority for the upliftment of the agreement. That's what I'm going to move on. That endoscopic suit, that endoscopic is there behind. Arigbabu was a brave and skillful surgeon, good teacher, fatherly mentor. I didn't say mentor, fatherly papa. He mentored you as a child. I would pray that my God will grant him a place in his kingdom. On earth, his memory will inspire generations of medical students, surgical and surgeons. And finally, that his impact endured like Oluwole or the timeless wall of Oxford University Hospital. I want to make a request. I don't know whether the CMAC has done. CMAC. Gary is better. Gary, oh, CMD. Yeah, it's one of the greatest. This one, okay. I want to make a request. I'm praying today, please. Rename the endoscopy word of truth as Arigbabu's endoscopy word of confidence. May God bless you all. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. You made this analysis. That was great. For those who never met Professor Arigbabu, I'm sure Professor Arigbabu has taken you into his world. And right in your mind, you will picture who he was and what he lived for. That was a natural. Another round of applause for Professor here. Thank you very much, sir. While he was making this presentation, the Chief Medical Director of this hospital walked in quietly. Welcome with me, Professor John Akpeni. You are welcome, sir. And the organizers of this program have granted me the permission to hand over the microphone to you. I venture you still, somebody has stood in for you, but I venture you still want to say one or two things, including maybe granting issues.
Thank you, everyone. I don't know how the group was established or permitted me to single out Mr. Mark, who I was with in the earlier Now, why the hospital is that? Just all matters at the various and all that is someone living there was still passionate about something in the future. And I pray that God will enable us to meet that by God's grace and by our own hard work and collective effort. This hospital will not go down. Thank you very much.
A big thank you to Professor John Akokeni, the Chief Medical Director, for trying his best to be here on this occasion despite a lot he has to go through. Thank you very much, sir. Next will be the series. I'm sure that Professor Arigbabu Aneliba deserves another round of applause. If we were to continue with that, I'm sure we won't get it tomorrow. So many people have a lot to say about it. This lecture, hopefully, will continue this time next year by the special grace of God. Let's move on to the presentation of awards to our distinguished guest speaker. And I'll be inviting Professor Adenike Adeoye to please come and present the plaque to our guest speaker. While I invite Professor Arigbabu to please come on the podium so that the plaque will be presented to you. Okay, thank you.
He was my junior in medical school. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm sure we all enjoy Professor Abu's lecture. Talk about memories, fond memories of Arigbabu. And I'm looking at the video I prepared, especially I got a professional to do it for me. It wasn't okay, good. So we want to thank Professor Abu for this. We all want to be like Baba. We do him so much for reminding us and making us go through everything. Okay? From when he started with us, the time he died. So thank you so very much for the lecture, and we hope we'll come again any other time you are invited to present something else. So, on behalf of the Department of this is in appreciation for the lecture you gave as a guest speaker at this mentorship in surgical with Professor Oluwole. That's the type of lecture you gave. This was held at the Clinical Skills Center, OET, today, posthumous, dearly beloved lecturer, mentor, and friend.
I think I'll take the hello, Mr. A minute. Okay, while you're trying to prepare, I think the last event will take let's just go for 1 or 2 minutes to the time and of the chairman on vacation. 1 or 2 minutes for Sometimes I remember the child as soon as you form. So let me invite you
Good afternoon, everybody. Stand up. Existing protocols. Just establish. The representative of Vice Chancellor, the Chief Medical Director of the senior Provost of College of Health Sciences, the Chairman of Education, the guest speaker, Professor, the Dean of Medical Sciences, all of them present within and outside the college, the HOD of all of them HODs, the rest of all Scottish all other staff, all professors, all doctors, children, grandchildren. As well as Mr. Larry, and Roger Junior, Roger Junior, and my siblings and other families. But before I start, I just wanted to say something. People always talk about my father being scared. My friend used to call him the Arigbabu because he used to put him. But he was not scared, I guess. He was not. And people like Professor Arigbabu, Professor then Dr. Senge, I remember those people coming to our house on the weekends, sitting down with my dad. So he was always teaching. Actually, he spent more time with everybody else than with us, kind of. But that's why everybody is part of our family. So, on the 29th of November 1935, Nay, Abin, and Sheffield, and Ura, and Gabu, their third child, his father's 29th of his father made an entry in the family. So, for those who always think that my father knew about dates, his father did all the children, the birth and death of all children were recorded. The earliest entry was 1908. 1908. I have a copy of it. Interesting. He kept a record of even his houses, materials used to build that. Of course, he recorded people that owed him money and he gave it. It was all recorded in that. So the entry he made for my dad was my wife Shelley has put to bed a male child today. The 29th of November 1995, and coincidentally it was also a Friday. The son's name, this will be very interesting, is Abdul Abbas Owodumi. But because later he went to Catholic school, so this child grew up to be a surgeon, a dedicated educator, and an inspiring mentor to many, to countless individuals. Though he may not even have, though he was not wealthy in material possessions, his legacy, which many of you have got, is far more valuable than any sum of money, silver, or gold. And in the 80s, when there was a mass exodus of doctors going to the Middle East and other places, he actually asked me to follow him to Lagos. He went for an interview. I only came out. How was it? Because I was seeing dollar eyes, there are dollar signs in my own eyes, and my life would change. He said it was very good. Are you going? I know some people know this story. Professor Keton there. Why are you not going? I said, let me tell you something. Is it when you go to this place? At the end of everything, you will collect 3 things. One of those pockets will be full of money and be rich. And 2 pockets are full of shit. And you have I want to resume my country, and nobody is chasing me. I will stay here. And last year when he was in the hospital here, he said I should report him. And he started saying, I love my country. He was a new veteran. So 2 years before he died, 27th of February, 2 years before that, to the week, he got a case in Harvard. All the doctors were either medical or and in the evening, I was there with him. He called for the technologist, Dr. Okekweze, and he shouted at him. And I told the others, he's getting very well. He's okay. Once he starts shouting at you, he's okay. I made a very big of it, and it gave him 2 more years of his life. Also, we were talking about stitches. He actually did something that I guess people would do. He performed an appendectomy of his sister. And anytime she went anywhere, all today she's in Germany. When people see those stitches, they ask, who did it? Because it just became like, I call them angel stitches. I guess it's his method also. He did something else. He had an appendectomy, and he walked out of the hospital with the drill in hand and said he's going home. And right to the ambulance ride. True story, from SDS, he came home that day. For those who knew him always with his cigarette in hand, that was his training. There were 2 things you would perceive going up to health sciences. Either it was a plastic perfume, which was from Professor Dorothy Manuel, or cigarettes, in 2003, he came to visit me in the UK. And the first thing I did, he didn't know, I searched his luggage, I destroyed all his cigarettes, threw his lighters away, and he started searching for them. And he would beg me in the evenings, Jennifer, please. I know it's an addiction. I said, don't worry. I'll stop at my trust. I'll buy crackers, just buy crackers. And really, 2003, he stopped smoking. For years, his cough disappeared, his skin changed, and really, it improved his life. Nobody would believe that he would ever stop, but he did. So I want to extend my sincere gratitude to all of you for honoring his memory and for carrying forward his legacy while doing it. Even as he emerged from surgery last October, it was the same time. I was there. There were some things he said. First, he had a stent. He tried to put on a stent. It didn't work. And he said they have to do open surgery. I met a lot of people. Professor Salako, what? I will be praying for all of you on my way to heaven. And they did it. But as he came out of the surgery was successful. He came out. And the first thing he asked me was, what was, because it was the week of the medical surgery exam, who won my prize? And how did the students do? Two students didn't make it. He said, that's a good result. And then they went into the ICU. Anyway, I was with him days before he died. And just as Dr. West said that, 3 days before he died, he was in the hospital by presently. He was asked about patient. And that's demonstrating his commitment to patient care. He called me a few weeks before he died. He said, "Call, I need to tell you my things." And he did. And one of the things he said, "Go and find me a new suit. I want to be buried in a suit." Then he said, "Don't panic, I'm not dying yet." But I knew the end was here. And it's a quiet gesture that has signified his desire to be remembered as the esteemed professor of surgery that he truly was. And I really said he didn't want to be buried as Babaito. He wanted to be buried as professor of surgery. And I'm glad that he maintained his awareness and clarity of mind until the very end, the last day, his mind was sharp. So once again, I thank you all for the presence here today. I pray that we'll be gathered here again next year for the next lecture in this honor. So we can already start pointing fingers at who can get ready for the next one. You will have to choose the next one. And I want to thank everyone for all the hard work put into making this event a success. Thank you very much. So thank you very much for arriving. I want to thank you very much, especially Professor Tessie, who sent the message. He really would have loved to be here, but he just can't. So thank you. Thank you very much. For those who are present here, thank you. And for those who traveled, wish you a safe journey. May God bless you upon us all. And may others so
Thank you very much. If only we missed this out, then we would have missed a lot. I'll hand over the microphone to the chairperson of today's occasion to please give his closing remarks. Professor Oluwole.
Protocol dispensed with. I must recognize CMD and welcome him. We've had 2 hours, 2.5 hours of amazing presentations from the grassroots, from the big chiefs, everywhere. We've heard everything there is ready to know about this great man. When I say great man, I mean great man. We've heard about his clinical skills, his professional attributes, his administrative abilities, his dedication to the practice of medicine. We've heard about his values, his honor, hard work, humor, honesty, and above all, his humanity, his kindness. He has left an indelible mark on all of us. We continue to pray for the soul of, I was going to say my dear friends, our dear friend. And we look forward to meeting again in a year's time. Thank you very much.
On behalf of the organizers of this program and the family of late Professor Oluwole Arigbabu, I had something the other time. Abdul Abbas, I want to say a big thank you to our guests, starting from the chairperson of today's occasion, the children, all our professors, members of staff of the university, and the Department of Surgery, everyone that has made today's occasion a glory. That says, say, let me thank the death of the righteous, and my hand be like you. Professor Arigbabu is only lucky. Was anyone in his own days. No one can find like this. What we said, how can you act? People all over the please try to get